boots in the third one.
Oh, you kidding me? I would actually be all about
Well, apparently it's bootless. Until boots, of course. Well, it's red at half a point. I mean, I'd say there are a lot of similarities between Pieces of Heart and Red Rupees. They're both red. They're both a lot of them. Runners don't want them.
Yeah, and they only care about wanting them when they absolutely need them the most.
And then they're not getting them because, of course.
Of course.
Ooh, map check. Special crystal at Hera. Both from Uncle.
Very nice.
I missed Eastern Palace, but I believe there was three crystals.
I unfortunately did not see it. Oh my goodness, the bow right off the bat?
Yeah, it's wow. This is gonna be a fast escape sequence. All we need to make it even faster will be the mirror.
Tell me about it. Well, that and the boots.
Yeah, although our runners would like to waste some time going for 3 additional chests, of course, we still need to get a bomb for that. And neither of our runners has, as of yet, been farming for bombs. But as we can see, fcoughlin now killing a bunch of extra enemies for that famed bomb drop in order to gain access to the final room in the escape sequence where 3 more chests are hidden. Alright, 1 dungeon item out of the way, the small key.
Always a convenient thing to find.
fcoughlin, take it to the stairs. You don't see that too often. Oh, nice magic drop. Oh, so far a lot of money for the start of the seed. Both runners already up to about 50 rupees. Definitely going to be happy to get that out of the way first, as we do need quite a substantial amount of rupees to get through the seed. Ooh, as Zelda is holding onto the map, at least now we know where to go. And with that, both of our runners will be moving on to the second part of the escape sequence, escaping with the princess. Still no bomb drop for either of our players.
That is unfortunate. You never want to have to double back into the escape sequence just to find out what 3 items are there.
Yeah, we can see both runners desperate for that bomb drop. Okay, both runners will be entering the sewer section of the escape sequence at roughly the same time. Both runners are still very much right on course for that sub 6 minute escape sequence. Of course, at this point, it is way too early to be calling any sort of winner.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, an 8 bomb drop from the rats. CeroX not going for the farm.
Now that is a very convenient drop.
And that's even more convenient. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Although that does mean that fcoughlin does have enough to clear Kakariko Village, but...
I mean, having enough for Kakariko Village does also help, because like I said, even having to backtrack anything does keep any possibility, although doubtful for either of these runners, that you might neglect it for later. You might end up rushing, or you might, for some reason, get carried away. It has happened to all of us, so not having to worry about it is always much more preferred.
Yeah, and with the lamp being back there, it's not necessarily required for our runners to get that, as I am confident that both these runners are well versed in the dark rooms, but it's still a very nice item to find that you don't have to do dark rooms if you don't have to.
Oof. And even Chad is very clearly pointing out early lamp and bow. What about Eastern Palace?
Yeah, and especially with those silvers.
Oh, yeah.
Eastern Palace is going to go by in a breeze.
Telegraphing an easy crystal.
I mean, thanks, Uncle.
Right?
Wow. Oh, interesting. Both runners opting to go for the southern entrance into Skull Woods. Lost Woods. I mean... Okay. Someone in chat is asking a question about set RNG patterns. What we mean by that is the RNG for boss fights, when you fight them for the first time, will be the same for everyone involved in the race. If you happen to die, fall down, save and quit, or by any other means restart the fight, you will get completely random RNG. But for enemy price drops, every single price pack in the game has been randomized, and when you get a drop, it's also inherently random. But the price packs are the same for both of our runners. So eventually, after killing enough enemies, the price pack will advance far enough to get, for example, the bomb drop. Whoa. Meanwhile, we get a lot of huge items. The hammer, the ether, the bug net. I mean, this is screaming Aghanim right now. Getting the bug net, all we need is, like, a cape. That is exactly all that we need to get into Aga. Very conveniently getting a bottle that does allow us to immediately cash that in with the sick kid. So we get the
bottle vendor, the most important item in the game, and by that I do mean that entirely sarcastically, the single arrow. And we're getting a chicken hut. And we get the wall chicken clip. Oh, that is a beautiful display. Shoutouts to the chicken in the wall. I name it Alfred.
Alfred. That's an amazing name for a chicken.
Thank you. And meanwhile, CeroX already heading over to the sick kid, and we're going to be finding out. Oh, 3 bombs confirmed by fcoughlin, and he leaves him very, very aptly.
Yeah, how nice of him.
Hey, 300 rupees, so that does technically mean they have 300 rupees. and confirmed he now has enough to go to Zora. In fact, and CeroX has 8 more before he could go to Zora. Well, technically can't because he doesn't have anything else to access it, but nonetheless. Meanwhile, the library providing a whole lot of nothing. And let's see what the race game has. fcoughlin given the check instead of going for it blind. And
you kind of want that.
fcoughlin doing the muscle memory of the select button before going, oh no, hold up, click.
Wait a second. That seems important.
So that is crucial. And now that actually does give them, in all technicality, despite it being a logic break, access to Zora. Now, how badly do they want that is the question. Since they have enough to at least go through one dungeon, I'm very surprised to see no one's really... Actually, it's rather early in the race. Chances are right now they still are covering all of the dungeon locations. And fcoughlin with the map check realizes all 3 are crystals.
Yeah, definitely a stacked light wall so far. And with that moon pool, that does put us 1 item away from complete doubtful access.
Ooh, and a minor divergence. We're seeing fcoughlin going straight for the early crystal lead, and CeroX is going immediately into the bottom of Helia to see, you know, what's in the dam, what's under the water, what's in the Thieves' Cave, what's in Ice Cave, or Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, definitely an interesting choice, although I'd imagine that both these runners, after they're done, will just simply cross over and do as the other did.
Understandably and absolutely.
But with that, we do get a sword from Sahasrahla.
Very nice.
Very exciting. Oh, okay.
He is not happy to see a sword? I mean, that makes sense. He is a beast of a competitor. But then again, not seeing anything more useful than a sword does mean it's essentially almost vanilla. Yeah, with the exception of 2 items right now, we are technically, quote-unquote, 3, vanilla.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Oh, wow, CeroX.
Give or take. Yeah, CeroX going...
Yeah, CeroX going for the Agina check. Definitely not a bad idea. You want to get these items, item locations out of the way quickly.
And as we've seen, they have come up very crucially in the past. Oh, 50 rupees. Did CeroX make a check for the ledge?
No, I don't believe he did.
Oh, considering I've seen crucial items on the ledge in the past, that's come back to burn many players. Hopefully that doesn't come into play this time.
Yeah, although probably might not want to check it because he doesn't have access to it. So it's kind of like a Schrodinger's item.
I mean,
whereas it doesn't even matter.
In this case, it's more of a knowledge is power thing versus anything else.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Obligatory G.I. Joe reference. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing what's over in Mini Moldorm Cave. Very patiently taking his time to make sure he doesn't get hit, because of course he doesn't have a sword.
Yeah, it does takes care of the Mini Moldorm, just precision. 5 items, gets 2 hard containers, or money. 1 piece of hard rather, and another one.
Ooh, big chest holding the burrito. Hope you had lunch already, or in some cases dinner.
Bon appetit.
Bone apple tea indeed.
Close enough.
Oh
my.
Meanwhile, 3 people in chat. That's not how that's supposed to sound. You're right.
It's satire, but that's fine. No, you're eating a yeah. Well, let's restart that one. You're eating a burrito. Sounds delightful. Share some.
Nice.
Ooh, we do get an ice rod cave check. Meanwhile, big chest
Oh,
containing the hook shot!
is in the Eastern Palace. Eastern was definitely the hard play. But we have a Bombos.
Oh,
we don't know
Bombos.
if either of those medallions come into play either. But right now, that does give fcoughlin a serious bit of momentum.
That is very soon. Once we get up on the mountain, that will unlock a plethora of more items.
Yep, we'll have 7 chests to either be happy or morbidly disappointed with. As soon as we hit the eastern side of Death Mountain, CeroX going in for the extra 10 bombs and the Lake Hylia check. Nope, what am I talking about? Doesn't have flippers. Going up to Eastern Palace. Good on him, because that is, as we know, the play.
Yeah, definitely a good idea to be able to full clear a crystal dungeon. Might as well go ahead and do it, because you're gonna have to do so eventually. And if you find progression along the way, as we did in terms of the hook shot, then that's always a bonus.
Oh,
there it is, Darkwood Access.
Talk about linearity in a randomizer.
Oh wow, that is probably going to send both runners straight up to Death Mountain.
You are correct, and that's going to mean we're going to be seeing yet another crystal dungeon very shortly, because that does give them Tower of Hera access.
Oh yeah, that is true, although they will have to go the long way around. It is a way nonetheless.
Indeed, and on top of that, you're still getting 7 items, so it's kind of like getting 9 instead of comparably 4, if you're counting Overworld along with the actual dungeon.
Ooh, I like this play from fcoughlin though. Instead of going up the mountain straight away, he is going to check off the Sphere 1 items first. Definitely not a bad choice. You don't want to leave something crucial behind in the most easily checked locations. Meanwhile, CeroX makes his way through the Eastern Palace. He's going to get all of the chests, same as fcoughlin does. We'll be happy to get his hook shot, and eventually that all-important crystal. fcoughlin in the mini Mulderm cave is going to use the hook shot to get rid of these Mulderms.
Yep, there's nothing like a hook shot or even a cane of Samaria to clear out that cave. You haven't lived until you've done a 1 block cane of Samaria mini Mulderm cave clear.
Oh my. Is that even possible?
It's not.
Yeah, I figured.
Because I realized afterwards I thought it was 1, but no, it was 2.
Oh, that would be impressive though. Getting all 4 of them with 1 block.
Oh yeah.
Although this game is Magic, we're not talking about Magic. We're talking about real hard numbers. CeroX and fcoughlin going over each other's steps, checking out the locations.
And just like that
generally have items.
Bombos. We've got the lightning coin, we got the swirly coin, and now it's time to go to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, that does seem to be heavily implied progression. Of course, with that glove, the lamp, and the hook shot makes it very appealing.
Like right now, the linearity of this seed is absolutely clear.
There we go. go. CeroX gets his hook shot. And we'll be moving on for that crystal. So fcoughlin is going to head into the Death Mountain cave. Going to be rescuing the old man. And onwards to the plethora of items. No, almost went the wrong way there.
Yep. It does happen on occasion. When you're so used to running this blind, muscle memory will kick in. Or rather,
Yeah.
a dark room, not blind.
Yeah, it's definitely also quite rare not to get up on Death Mountain early.
Yep. And for those playing the home game, the gauntlets were on auto mode tonight. And a fairy in a bottle coming from the old man.
Oh wow, the old man is previous link confirmed, right?
I mean, I'll go with that, if nothing else.
I mean, there are so many incarnations of the Hero of Time.
True, and apparently multiple timelines.
Oh yeah, it's confusing, to say the least.
On the top of Spectral Rock and
Boots!
What are those?
Oh, fcoughlin is definitely going to take the detour for those.
With excellent reason.
And that is why you check Spectacle Rock first. Oh, he's just going to save and quit to the old man cave. Or not.
Or he's...
Oh.
Yep, he did. It just didn't show it on our free stream for some reason.
Yeah, fcoughlin was too fast.
Probably. fcoughlin does do things rather quick.
I mean, that's the name of the game. Ooh, interesting, CeroX.
I thought this was a long play competition. Oh, Dark World.
We're gonna see Palace of Darkness first.
Which is interesting because we haven't seen a Dark World check at all.
Oh, there we go.
Never mind. It's got a crystal.
Green pendant turtle rock.
Oh no.
Pendant, skull pendant, swamp, and special thieves town.
Oof.
Well, Master Sword, by the way.
Oh, hey.
Death Mountain coming in. Oh my, green pendant turtle rock. Wow.
And there is the Cane of Samaria, half magic. Death Mountain once again showing it's got a lot of valuable items.
Yeah, and the first of the shields, which...
What was that? 4 out of 7 were useful items?
Yeah, this has been a stacked Death Mountain.
Oh, and a rare display, fcoughlin missing the bomb jump.
It might have been a little bit too quick on the setup, being just a couple of pixels off. Palace of Darkness is not bow locked for us today, although we already did get the bow fairly early, I'd say.
Yeah, that was relatively early.
fcoughlin did make it through the Pirates Cave in the end. It's going to go check the Spiral Cave. Never mind. It's going to check Hera first.
An interesting play. Maybe just didn't want to worry about going, say, up and then back down and then back up again.
Yeah, definitely the better decision, which is why I'm commentating and not running. Ooh, that's a no-no. Compass in the basement.
Ouch.
fcoughlin is going to be hoping for the big key. And it is.
The big key. Here's hoping the last item is in the basement. That is always preferable. Tower.
Yeah, with Smokey on Mulder.
Yep.
Oh, CeroX, meanwhile, entering the Bolok part of Palace of Darkness. Business in the front, party in the back. Makes great use of silver arrows.
It's also why Dr. Bob Tastic, another one of our great commentators, likes to call this the Mullet Mansion or the Mullet Dungeon.
Very true. No, fcoughlin. Oh no! Trying to redeem himself. Goes down 2 floors, unfortunately. Oh, that's tough.
You have to think, at this point, fcoughlin, despite, you know, making these mistakes, has been making them in a rush, feeling like this linear seed has left him behind. For whatever reason they may be feeling.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with CeroX going for the bit more unorthodox route of Paths of Darkness instead of going up to the mountain, as Seed is suggesting.
Well,
nice fairy drop.
We'll find out shortly, because as we know, fortune does favor the bold. We'll just find out which one was the bolder choice in that case. fcoughlin deciding not to go with the swag strat, has the hook shot and boots, goes, you know what, I'm going to make this easy on myself.
Le Mans de Moulet. Indeed.
In fcoghlin's situation, if he still had the fighter sword, I usually like to take the hilt of the fighter sword and line it up with the bottom left corner of the little blocks in the middle, so that way you can actually do the bomb jump effectively. For anyone playing the home game wondering how to make that an effective lineup. But in the meantime, we have Trolldorm coming out, and fcoughlin says I could use the hammer, or I could just spin slash him to death, and down goes everyone's favorite burger snake. Oh no!
Oh, that does mean. Oh, CeroX gets the big key.
Oh,
he is
no,
stuck
he doesn't
now.
have the mirror.
Oh no, that is going to set him back quite a lot.
Oh yeah,
as you cannot get out of that room. No, that is tough.
Yeah, so speaking of runners feeling like they're behind, I think both of these runners have reason to believe, oh no, and start panicking, and we're definitely seeing that in some of the performance so far.
Yeah, that is true.
Are 4-1. It does make it feel a little tense, because technically you feel like you might be quote unquote on the line for brackets.
Yeah, that is true. Although both these runners will have another shot, I believe, at getting into brackets if they happen to lose this one.
Oh, water
Oh,
toes!
flippers! The red meringue.
And
the second shield.
Shield.
Yeah, wow, that is actually a second shield. So if another shield is easily accessible, mirror.
Oh my God! And there's the mirror. Oh, that's painful.
Oh, fcoughlin is glad that he went back for that item. CeroX, though, not so happy that that's going to be there. Of course, he doesn't know that as of yet. But oh my.
There's a little bit of irony to find the mirror right after CeroX ends up, for the better part, being stuck because he forgot the big key and doesn't have the mirror. And
no, that is tough indeed.
Doing the route for Spiral Cave now that he's taking care of Tower of Hera. And we're getting a pyramid check, 300 rupees, and Spiral Cave is just a little bit of love. This does put fcoughlin in a significant crystal and item lead. This could be a bit dangerous if CeroX doesn't find some really significant progress soon. Oh, and again, he doesn't have the boots either, so he's not able to make... Oh, Ice Rod.
Oh,
that's
no.
not a good sign.
Oh, green pendant Turtle Rock is starting to inch ever closer.
But will it happen? We'll have to find out.
Yeah, we did already have the...
fcoughlin never check Lumberjack Cave?
No, none of the players does, so this will be a first. Oh!
Oh no!
Oh!
The gamble.
Oh, now this is... Now this is
fcoughlin.
interesting. There is a way around the requirement for needing the powder item involving the Cane Sumaria and the mushroom. Now, of course, we already have the Cane Sumaria, but we would still need that mushroom first. So once fcoughlin finds that, I think he's going to check that location immediately using the so-called powder glitch.
Well,
Oh
very
my.
good reason to do so, but that does make it a bit more curious as to what to expect next. For all we know, this is not a pendant seed. This is not a pedestal seed. That doesn't mean it can't turn into one. And as we're seeing with more and more items being cleared out in certain locations, not a whole lot being done or found. To be fair, they are finding a significant lot more. And likely, we're going to see a play into Thieves Town, a very valid option at this point. Or fcoughlин's going to make a liar out of me and going to say, you know what? Skull Woods is something I can still go through for 2 more items. I'm going to take a chance on that because statistically it does provide a higher chance of having something valuable. fcoughlin getting a burrito for his big key troubles. Oof. Gonna be one very full and satisfied customer.
Yeah, CeroX definitely happy that he found that big key, where he was previously locked out because of it. Item number 1, Skull Woods, a big 20. CeroX does take a death warp to get back out of the dungeon. Has yet to pick up his second bottle from the mountain.
Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, we saw the flippers in pod. So that doesn't really provide a whole lot, but that does mean if this is a pendant seed, we would have the ability, minus the mirror, which we now know is in Tower of Hera, to go into Swamp Palace. Then again, this also may be considered closer off to a logic skill, or a logic break. I don't think it is, because technically you're able to do all this. Flippers and Hike Cave? Ah, that's right.
Yeah, they were
Never
in the
mind.
first
Pod has
chest.
actually been a bust.
No. What's not a bust is Cane Sumaria Skull Woods. Coughlin showing us why. Not having to push around that statue. Only for the compass. Ah.
Unfortunate, but that does mean it was an easy clear, especially with a mirror in hand.
Yeah,
So
very
that way
true.
We now head over to Thieves Town after checking at least half, if not a majority, of the village of Alkin.
Yeah, definitely another lucrative area. Meanwhile, CeroX making his way down the road traveled once before. This time with Vicky in hand, we'll be able to finish off the Halmasaur King.
And for those that didn't notice before, CeroX already made his way down here once without the big key, thus why he was able to come down here without any remaining keys.
Oh, fcoughlin going to use that mirror to check a bunch of out-of-the-way locations in terms of Kingstomb and the Graveyard Ledge.
Both of those very, very potentially valuable. We have seen all sorts of items in there, and we got a bottle of Mountain Dew.
Oh, delicious. Oh no!
No, CeroX!
CeroX gets swiped by the tail.
And not having a fairy in a bottle. Oof, how the mighty have fallen, and he's going back, not deterred.
Yeah, it does take a fair amount of time to get back to the entrance from flue spot number 5. So it maybe doesn't want to invest the extra time later.
Oh, we found the bloomerang though.
Oh, that's the best one, obviously.
Yeah, red one's better for swag strats in Ganon's Tower, but you're right. It's a good boomerang. The bloomerang. Now, friends, do remember, despite the fact that CeroX has been having a hard time with Palace of Darkness, we have seen crazier turns of events. We have seen complete upsets and plot twists from both competitors in other races. Not necessarily these two, but let's just say other races have had major developments that neither the runners nor anyone else could have predicted. So this is still anybody's race.
Yes, a randomizer race is not over until it is over. And meanwhile, as fcoughlin is checking the village to outget CeroX, it's going to go back for the Helmsol King. And as I do see someone in chat having a question about sprites, and unfortunately, sprites do not affect the external sprites in terms of the swords. The shields would have to get a specific patch for these sword items. But yeah, on that note, shoutouts to the sprite developers, as we can see on CeroX's side, using a custom build sprite, as well as using green colored hearts, as well as using silver arrows on the green jewel for an instant kill.
Oh, and just for an extra, a nearly vanilla heart piece turning into an extra heart. Ouch. So, doing some quick calculations, I've noticed that the only couple of items that could potentially be on the pedestal would be the book or the flute, or whatever medallion Misery Mire requires.
I want mushroom on the pedestal.
Or the mushroom.
Wow, I apologize. Actually, no, I don't. I don't apologize. I wanted to happen. Oh man, I'm evil.
Because right now, between both runners, we have been seeing that we have almost all the items required for each pendant dungeon. Yet, surprisingly, not for each crystal dungeon, which would obviously make go mode. Also, technically, shovel, you are correct.
Yeah, mushroom into shovel.
Ooh, fcoughlin unfortunately not getting the God Pixel for Hell Hallway, having no trouble going through it, but just getting a little bit of annoyance from the local creatures.
I mean, Link's just coming in and barging and killing everyone, so I guess it's justified.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Just a bit.
If someone came in charging at me like Monty Python's Lancelot into my castle, I'd sure be offended. Then he goes around smashing pots and throwing bombs all over the place. Like, what the heck? That's super rude. Here I was about to invite you to a delicious dinner and then offer you maybe some Kool-Aid or an after-dinner drink, and here you are wrecking my house?
Like, come on, Link, where are your manners? Speaking of manners, CeroX in order going to pay off his debt to Zora.
Yep. Everyone's favorite extortionist to hate. If Zora King has one of the required items we need, this could be huge. But it also means it could also, you know, take fcoughlin a while, or it might be something he goes back for.
Yeah, that might come start weighing on his mind. He does have enough rupees for it.
Ooh. And that's why you don't go and do pyramid schemes, kids.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
that
an
tax
arrow
return
upgrade.
is nowhere near as satisfying.
Once again, reminding the viewers, remember, Zora does give valuable life lessons, but they aren't always ones you're going to enjoy. CeroX making his way up to Death Mountain after clearing another dungeon and making sure to clear as much of Overworld as he could. fcoughlin, in the meantime, finding out that a novice skier often jumps to conclusions.
No.
Getting some decent dodges on the blind fight.
Ooh,
Some of them
textbook
were
blind
on the-
fight.
Nothing but jealous of that blind fight, I'll tell you that. And down another crystal.
Wow, definitely an important one, as it is the second of the red crystal pairing. So fcoughlin does have access to the cursed fairy.
Ooh,
Ooh, CeroX.
CeroX having some really bad luck with
Getting
the
mauled
dead
by the sky cabbages.
Sky cabbages, I like it.
I mean, why are they green, Nintendo? Come on, make them like brown, like rocks. But you know,
Or
they're
maybe
magical rocks.
transparent. Oh, we're going into Alden Baldwin's yard to go and dig stuff up. fcoughlin.
Oh, wow.
Already getting. Wait, what's this?
Not sure what he's. Oh, he's writing. H.
He is. Yes. More people are doing that. Good.
Oh, I love it. Hi.
Hi.
That's amazing.
fcoughlin also spelling out hi after getting his item. Shoutouts to anyone that also writes or does stuff like silly little drawings in the digging game.
Oh
As someone
yeah.
else who also wrote hi in his, I can appreciate the effort put in and the shenanigans. That said, fcoughlin must be feeling a little more okay about that. And CeroX gets the boots and mirrors out. Oh wait, no, he's probably
No.
going back down to Mountain
can't.
Cave.
And besides the point, you can't actually mirror out of a cave.
Did I just say mirror out instead of save and quit?
It's
Well-
it's late. Blue mail.
Blue mail happened, and I can't English.
I mean, we all can't.
True.
Or at least have a very difficult time making coherent English sentences. Anyway, linguistics aside, ooh, CeroX getting a bit of run with the Death Rock, but will be making his way into the Paradise Cave. fcoughlin, meanwhile, to the moderately high pipe cave, will be receiving his flippers. Although not required, does open
And
off Sean
let's see.
Palace.
Water toes. I don't know why that seemed like it was going to surprise me, because it wasn't going to. But I always have to enjoy saying water toes. Words are hard,
Water
and
toes.
hards are word. You right. Both of you right. Word randomizer. Agreed.
Yes.
And now we're seeing fcoughlin go in for the pyramid chests. Are we going to find 2 chests with value, or are we going to find 2 chests with quote-unquote value? CeroX going for the bomb jump. Admittedly, one of the easier bomb jumps in the game. Making that dash to make that quick work.
No, this will also give us a look at the pyramid item. I'm not sure if we saw that from
I
Xerox's
believe it
side
was
when he
only
went over.
300 rupees.
Oh, okay, I did miss it then. Though fcoughlin has yet to see it, so we're gonna get confirmation. It is indeed 300 rupees. Memory serves you correctly.
Oh, that's a very interesting technique. I've never thought of dashing over to save myself from the lag. Oh, a total of 320 rupees. You can call that value. And I'm gonna
Throws
call
a
it
bomb
fire.
into the pond.
Understandably.
Oh,
Well, that was a extra thick dose of ridiculousness.
ah, my. CeroX, though, in the Tower of Hera, does have the advantage of the hammer to make quick work of these hard-out beetles. We'll be getting his mirror at the end of his journey. As fcoughlin is tracing into CeroX's steps, going to the Palace of Darkness. Pretty much only for that crystal, as we do know it is otherwise a complete bust.
And as I'm seeing right now, it appears we don't have much other choice than to look into stuff like pendant dungeons, unless we have access to Desert Palace. We may have a required either Swamp Palace or Turtle Rock dive.
Yes, and fcoughlin already took a peek into Skullwoods, although most players would consider that kind of the overworld due to just how easy it is to get there, requiring pretty much only dark access.
Well, I mean, let's take consideration. We have seen Eastern Palace, Tower of Terror, Palace of Darkness, and Thieves' Town cleared. We can't logically access Ice Palace and don't have Titan's Mitts. We can't access Misery Mire, we don't have Titan's Mitts or the Flute. We can't access Desert Palace, we don't have the book or the flute. So at this point, they really only have Swamp Palace, Skullwoods, which we already know is a bust, and Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock also requires mitts first.
Oh, you're right. So realistically, the only play right now is Swamp Palace.
Yeah, it does look like Swamp Palace is going to be the only play. It's not going to be a bad play, as it does have 6 unique items. So it definitely has a lot of value, but...
Oh, CeroX having some bad luck with the tiles, showing a little bit of disrespect. And CeroX going for the risky section. On that square, I've definitely seen people hit the wrong pixel and get stuck there and have to mirror their way out.
Oh, yeah.
In CeroX's case, that does not happen. He has been having a significant amount of unfortunate luck.
Yeah, although in order to be stuck, you have to be wedged between the bottom peg and the second one up from that. Then the 2 hitboxes will interfere with each other.
Gotcha.
So, although not impossible, I
definitely
doubt.
Was like.
Yeah,
okay.
Both of these runners know what they're doing. I hope, because I sure don't know what I'm doing. Meanwhile, CeroX did receive his mirror from the basement. fcoughlin making his way through the Palace of Darkness, not going for the bomb jump. Whoa. Careful, instead going to check the extremities first, and then go in for the big key later.
So at this very moment, CeroX is about 3/4 of a dungeon behind fcoughlin. But as anyone that's had experience in these races know, this is not that big of a lead. Like, realistically, all he has to do is go through Thieves' Town, and he's technically caught up with fcoughlin, because fcoughlin is treading ground that CeroX already did first. And technically also vice versa. So realistically, we're just having a really ridiculous helix of intertwining routing.
Yeah, this has definitely been a very interesting seed in terms of where our runners can go. As CeroX does pick up his ice rod from the Bonk Rock location. fcoughlin will be making his way towards the Hammersaw King. I believe CeroX is going to have a little peek at Lumberjack Cave. As he does have the boots, does make it a possible location that he can open up.
Sees that it's the powder. Still slightly ominous feeling about that.
Yeah, like our runners have one of two options: either just bite the bullet and go and beat Aghanim for that powder, hoping that that mushroom is maybe in Ganon's tower or tucked away in a far corner of Hyrule, or take the gamble and hope that they find the mushroom along the way. And that very decision might determine this race in the end if something does happen to be on that magic altar.
And out of technicality, fcoughlin has also checked a lot of Dark World, Overworld locations. So that might be something CeroX still ends up doing before entering Thieves Town and going through the majority of Village of Outcasts, which would, as we know, be a bit of a bust. Unbeknownst to him, a very wise decision to forget about Swamp Palace until you have the Fire Rod.
Wait, why do we need Fire Rod?
For Mothula, and to enter the end of Skullwoods.
Oh, sorry. In my brain you said Swamp Palace. I was like really confused.
It's entirely possible that I totally messed that up.
It might as well be my head doing weird things to your speech, but
it's okay. Randomizer randomizes all sense of logic to everything.
God, no.
Doing something not related to video games? Congratulations, your brain's on Randomizer.
Welcome to the dark side. We've got the cookies.
I did say swamp? Okay, that is my bad. I did mean Skullwoods. fcoughlin taking down King Helmasaur and getting that crystal without a problem. Word sanity? Yes.
Yes.
It is very much word sanity with me right now.
A required word sanity seat, this one.
Fred is technically up in terms of items and one dungeon. For the moment, it seems like there's not that much of a difference between them. It really depends on where CeroX goes after Thieves Town. If CeroX goes and checks a lot of the same item locations, it's going to be just a significant amount, but not too much of a difference. It would be the difference of, say, like 3/4 of a dungeon plus whatever time it took for those overworld locations. But for the most part, it's still not too far between these two runners. And fcoughlin still doing some of the overworld locations that CeroX already did does suggest that this is still intertwining and close.
Yeah, this seed is definitely, while we had a lot of divergence, not a lot of different, like, logic choices that can be made.
Yeah.
As it's pretty much one location unlocks the next one, unlocks the next one, etc., etc., ad nauseum. So definitely a very interesting seed, although fcoughlin going out of his way to check the catfish.
Since he has the mirror, he's going to do catfish and then immediately check the waterfall of wishing and Zora ledge and then Zora.
Yeah, definitely very effective having the mirror going up here, as CeroX does.
CeroX, with only green mail, doesn't want to get hit and take 2 hearts worth of damage by those little slime lizard things.
I believe they're called Buzz in the original game manual.
Oh, good to know. And oof, only an arrow upgrade from the catfish. Catfish giving you nothing but a catfish.
How ironic. Like iron. Oh my god.
I'm surprised fcoughlin hasn't ran out of bombs yet.
Yeah, he's still
how
at
many
11.
He's been throwing them at. All with very valid reasons, mind you.
Oh yeah, this seed has definitely been less than polite towards our runners with item locations.
You could say that again.
Oof. fcoughlin going to get his discount on his purchase of thin air.
What he doesn't realize is that red rupee on Zora Ledge... Oh, and there's another bomb. But that red rupee on Zora Ledge was actually a warning sign of what you were going to get.
Oh yeah, I totally did not realize that.
Yeah, it took the second time around for me to actually make that connection. I was just like, oh, it is a warning sign.
Funny thing, actually, if you buy the item from Zora, don't pick it up, and then go down to the Zora Ledge, the item that Zora spat out will be visually displayed on the Zora Ledge, even though the Ragnar item is still there.
Huh.
Although in this case, it wouldn't have mattered because both were red rupees, but...
Yeah.
And fcoughlin just doing a hard reset. As CeroX resets blind
into oblivion.
Yeah, I didn't know where I was going with that.
I guess you could say he really did put the shutters on blind. That hurt me a little, admittedly, but it was worth it.
100%. Ooh.
Understanding the next thing he has to do, immediately heads over to Swamp.
Oh, definitely on the bad choice. Again, as I mentioned, 6 unique items. And, like, the seed is screaming pendant seeds at the moment.
It's at least screaming required pendant dungeon dive.
Yeah, one of the big items that was still missing being the Titan's Mids, blocking access to pretty much all the late game dungeons. But with that being almost an hour in, what could possibly still be on the pedestal at this point?
Technically Flute.
Yeah, Flute and Book.
Yep, Flute and Book.
Or Quake, if that turns out to be required for Misery Mire.
Or Mushroom or Shovel.
Oh yeah, we haven't found either of those.
Or Cane of Burna. And that's only the Y items.
Yeah, we also have a plethora of big 20s, air upgrades, and the like.
And CeroX getting the blue boomerang to... Nope, says,
oh,
you know what, I'm good with the red one instead.
Boo. I mean, we did find the shovel, apparently. I saw it. Right? We both did.
I don't think we did, actually.
Shh. They don't have to know.
We quote-unquote saw it, I see. And
yes.
CeroX picking up his Mountain Dew.
We did see that one already. Whew, we are excellent at our jobs. Flute!
Oh, and there's the flute!
Oh, that is an amazing item to find, a massive item. Although useless to us at the moment. Oh.
So, simply enough, at this point, the only item that needs to be found at this very moment is the Golden Gloves, the Titan's Mitts. And at that point, we have no idea where the Fire Rod could be.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, we're almost...
to be able to progress.
CeroX in the digging game is going to give us a Tetris piece.
No, a very valid Tetris piece too.
Oh yeah, one of them. Actually, I think it's 5 across, right?
Yes, it is 5 across.
Yeah, that one was just 4. Maybe a child's version. Just think, Dawn.
And there's a swamp burrito. I don't know what that would taste like. Oh, fcoughlin didn't hit the switch. Oof.
Ouch. Does decide to head on out. He did get that shovel from the very first chest that we skillfully saw, both of us, and looks like he's going to cash it in immediately. Not a bad choice. If Tidesmith end up being here, for all intents and purposes, he is in go mode.
Right now there's a bit of debate on that. He does have the shovel, so we can check dig spot, but it's entirely possible that he left. Yep. Ooh. He left Swamp Palace just for that.
Yeah, as well as activate his flute, although that... Yeah, no, that doesn't give him access to anything he didn't have access to before, unfortunately.
Yep. Right now, he literally doesn't have access to anything else. Or, if he has access, he doesn't have a way to continue getting said access. Right now, he can't go anywhere else but there. Yeah, because everything else requires the Titansmith. Turtle Rock, Misery Mire, Ice Palace, and technically Desert Palace, unless he finds the book.
Yeah, Titansmiths are always required, as there are simply too many dungeons that that require it for it to be unnecessary. And it is one of the more essential items. And to... Wow, he avoided that portal?
Yep, that is entirely possible at that spot.
Wow.
Yep, it's a very fun trick that most people don't notice, because they automatically assume it's going to connect, but there's enough that you can actually place it on one side, move a little to the other, avoid it, do what you need to, then immediately go back in. Unfortunately for fcoughlin, that was one heck of a time sink in comparison to checking it later, because technically CeroX is now right behind him.
Yeah, the only thing that fcoughlin has got going is that he has already checked a bunch of the locations along the way. But other than that, these runners are back neck and neck again.
As any experienced runner would tell you, not having to worry about going through an entire dungeon when you already have a chance at a fetch quest is a bit of a gamble, but totally going to be relieving if that pays off. Unfortunately for fcoughlin, it didn't. What are you gonna do? And here we have a repeat, going to see what the last item on the left is before likely going and seeing what the remaining items before going to Argus, if necessary, which hopefully for them, if they want to find an item, isn't.
Oh, speaking of Argus, CeroX going immediately forward towards the latter part of the dungeon. fcoughlin following suit.
Unless I'm mistaken, we haven't seen left side swamp outside, or all of left side swamp rather. We saw the one chest which had the mirror in it, but we didn't see the other side due to not hitting the pegs. And there's the fire rod.
Oh no. That opened up Skull Woods.
Yeah, but they picked up both items in Skull Woods, didn't they?
Yeah, but not the pendant.
Oh no.
And without that book, that could also be on the pedestal.
Yep. Ooh, CeroX making the idea of going and fighting Argus first before checking the remaining 2 chests.
An interesting choice, to say the least. We'll just have to wait and see if it pays off.
Yep, I can understand from a routing perspective, because that way you just have to go and advance a couple of floors, or a couple of screens. But nonetheless, getting all of that out of the way would definitely, oh no, backtracking would probably take longer.
Yeah, if you're going to do a full clear and you're looking for more than one item, I'd say just go for left side first. But otherwise, I would also agree with the play to go for Argus first if you're only looking for one item, because if it's on the way, usually you do it if it is a crystal, but unfortunately, that is not the game today. Ooh, excellent snipe from CeroX, by the way, there.
Yep,
that is not easy.
No, it isn't. It's taken me a couple of shots minimum. And we got our first pendant. Hooray.
And so the cycle begins.
Yup.
Oh my. Although at this point...
Oh, I just thought of something. I'm going to hypothesize. What if we have a paradox? What if the book is on the Master Sword pedestal and one of the tablets has the remaining item required for Gomer?
That would be impossible, as tie smiths are required for Turtle Rock. Sorry.
You are correct.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how. I mean, you know, of course we're trying to think of the most evil thing the seed could do. No, fcoughlin. You don't have them yet, otherwise you won't be doing this.
I totally thought of that, not keeping in count that we needed Fire Rod. And then forgetting that they just picked up Fire Rod in Swamp, because my memory is also on Randomizer. CeroX going and checking the pyramid. As we know, that'll only give him about 320 rupees worth of value. But now with that Fire Rod, fcoughlin says that's one more pendant I can get out of the way, because I can already sense where this is going. And...
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
Sorry?
No. Go ahead. I was trailing.
The only thing that could be on pedestal would be Quake required for Maya.
Yeah.
And
that would
other
be
than
the
that,
only thing.
yeah, that is going to be the only saving grace for the pedestals. So that's we just have to see. fcoughlin does look like he is going to be collecting the pendant. Surely for the pendant alone, because we already got both of the items, so there is nothing that he could be looking for. Also, this is not going to be a pedestal check, as we don't have the book yet. So he is, for all intents and purposes, going for that pendant, which is interesting.
Having nothing else left and having no access to the remaining dungeons, he has to go and dig through to find out where he could find those gloves. Which, come to think of it, we haven't seen the big key chest.
No.
Did
I
we
also
miss...
think that the left side of Swamp hasn't been checked by either.
Oh, it hasn't. Oh, no.
Well, I've definitely checked the one chest. But CeroX did leave, I believe it.
Sorry, to reiterate, no one's checked the right chest on the left side of Swamp Palace, and no one's checked the big chest in Swamp Palace. If I'm correct, I did not see 5 items picked up in those, or 6 items picked up in those chests. I think I only counted 5.
Yeah, I don't believe that we have found all the items yet, so this could come down to it. Meanwhile, fcoughlin into the modular fight. Luckily does have the fire rod and half magic, so will not have too tough of a time. But this is still not a joke with the moving floor and spikes going all around. There we go. And
and the duck is unstuck.
Counting
yes,
is
suddenly I realized my counting was off. I thought I got 2 items. Turns out I must have thought of another race, because there were the Titans myths.
There was definitely another item on modular. Wow.
2 required dungeon dips for pendant dungeon.
Whew.
Yikes. Well,
Oh,
that
and it is
puts
ether for
fcoughlin in go
Maya.
mode.
So we are truly in go mode. Wow. Yeah. Well,
And there's the mushroom.
there's the mushroom. Oh. Wow. Thanks, Seed. Thanks. Oh my. Titans mids go mode on pendant modular. What is Seed? But with that, it is going to be a quick roundup for fcoughlin to clear out all of the dungeon as fast as possible. It's probably going to check at least a couple chests along the way, hoping to find that that third sword upgrade.
All he needs to find is the big key, and once he finds that, he can immediately head on over to the end of the dungeon. Although along the way, he might hope for, you know, a sword upgrade just so he can save a little time in comparison to Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah, although with silvers, not too big of a deal. It still does make the Ganon's Tower ascent a fair bit easier and faster, but I doubt that either of these runners have trouble with a Master Sword Ganon, so they will definitely be comfortable doing that.
And with that big key found, fcoughlin says, you know what, let's go this way instead.
Oh, beautiful key dash there from fcoughlin. One of my favorite tricks in the game, simply because it's just so satisfying. Setting yourself up a multiple of 4 pixels away from the door allows you to dash right through it instead of bonking. And it just so happens that almost every single item in the game is placed at a multiple of 4, so a fairly easy trick to accomplish, but so very satisfying. CeroX making the correct play. Going to check out this this one chest first before heading off to Mothula. As fcoughlin is in his respective dungeon's boss room. I mean, you can't really call that a boss.
Making very quick work of Lanmola. And now we're going to likely see a dip into, I want to say, Misery Mire. Hoping for a quick clear on that, hoping to get the God Mire. And then Go Mode Ice Palace is always enjoyable.
Yeah, as well as being able to skip Turtle Rock entirely.
Any day you get to skip Turtle Rock is a good day.
Yes. Although the seat did have some other plans with 2 required pendant dips.
I mean, you're not wrong. That was quite rude.
Meanwhile, as fcoughlin is using the vanilla medallion on Maya, CeroX using the Skullward's dungeon item on the bot itself will be burning this moth to a crisp. Especially with 12 hearts. 12 hearts not gives me any trouble. Takes him down as well. Gets his mitts and is also in go mode.
Oh, there's those slashes. Yes, I can feel that salt, and I am also in agreement. What a rude location and a rude go mode item. And we're gonna see, do we get the God Mire? Do we get the big key in the first chest? And survey says, no dice. No dice.
Very unfortunate. That does mean that fcoughlin has one more chance at the semi-God Mire if it is in this chest.
And that would be very convenient. Oh, it's a
no
burrito.
dice either.
No one
It's
likes a Misery
lunchtime.
Mire burrito.
I mean, to its defense, it's a complicated dungeon.
True.
But of course, repetition does make perfect. Both these runners probably know this entire game like their backyard.
Going and seeing some mirror techniques. Get 50 rupees and the mushroom for CeroX again, and 3 bombs in the compass room chest. fcoughlin making a smart play by going and doing the other available chests before going and doing the cutscene of destiny. Ooh, gets a compass so far for his efforts. Here's hoping he finds the big key.
Yeah, the last important dungeon item still remaining.
Yep.
Oh.
He has one more available chest to go. Decides to go that way instead.
Not sure if that would have mattered in the end.
I mean, it's more of a routing difference. This way he has to not worry about as many enemies. Also, he gets to dash through a bunch of stuff. Although I think that could
Wait,
have been
doesn't
a
that...
helpful factor. And there it is. There we go.
Ooh. Close to the location of the Goldmire.
Yep.
Key. Oh, still needs a small key. There you go. We'll be moving. Tempered sword!
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
If he only kept going, he would have had tempered sword. This could make a difference.
Yeah, if there is not going to be a sword along the way or in Ganon's tower, then CeroX still has time to catch up.
At this point, that does make it a little easier for CeroX to catch up. And that also means we're going to have to see how much time is being made up in the process between now and when fcoughlin inevitably reaches Ganon's tower.
Yeah, especially considering that we still have 1.5 dungeon to go for fcoughlin. CeroX is completing his second to last, or third to last rather. While it may not seem that that these two are close, the difference between Master Sword and Temper Sword can be quite substantial. And it could also come down to a left side, right side gamble in Ganon's tower even. So yeah, this is definitely not over until it is over.
A nearly 0 cycle.
Oh wow. Kill. Excellent fire there. Excellent aim on those silver arrows. Speaking of aiming...
I was going to say, speaking of quick kills...
Keep your eye on the ball.
Going for the 0 cycle on Vitreous because, oh, that is a satisfying 0 cycle.
Yeah, Vitreous is one of the few bosses that actually has more health than the damage of a single arrow.
Ooh, just barely off, ends up getting bonked back into the light world. And now only 1 dungeon behind, and as we know, both of these dungeons are going to be reasonably quick.
Yeah, Ice Spiralers in particularly not needing the big key, although it'd be interesting to see if fcoughlin goes for maybe just a handful of chests. Using the hook shot to get over. fcoughlin putting the fire rod to use. With that half magic, definitely going to have an easy time. Ooh, misses the key dash.
CeroX making good use of all of those sword beams. Sword beams. Thank you. I almost said spin slashes and then sword slashes, and then my brain just went, what are you talking about again?
It's been a while. We've almost been here for 1.5 hours already, which is still a considerably very good time for for a seed requiring 2 pendant dips.
Yeah, this seed is definitely, honestly, with how this is going so far, 120 at this point is an exceptionally impressive amount of time for also having to tackle 2 dungeons that are pendants.
Yeah, getting in go mode near the hour mark is definitely not an easy task.
Certainly not. And
Of course.
fcoughlin going for the bomb jump, and arguably one of the only bomb jumps that mattered in this entire run.
Yeah, of course, the bomb jump does save a substantial amount of time over doing the dungeon the vanilla way. As I believe the developer intended route wants you to loop 3 times in total.
Oof.
Which...
That does sound like a Nintendo thing to do with any sort of water-esque temple.
Oh. Memories. Of course, we don't have a water temple per se, as it is frozen over completely.
Yep. And CeroX making a similar move, going and saying, I don't want to go do the cutscene, let me check the other chest. Very logically so. Oh, an interesting thought using that door, saving a little bit of time.
Yeah, I was already curious why.
Interesting. Going for the big key chest, or just using that to dash around. That would be a significant time save. Gets the one key
he gets
needed.
The key.
Well, that's a way to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he already got the key from the pot, but that does... Oh yeah, he did. So that's why he wanted to get another key. Meanwhile, cold stare happening on the left side of his screen. One already down. fcoughlin out of magic.
Very quick work, considering that otherwise it's a master sword. That one spin splash doing spin slash, not spin splash, doing tempered sword equivalent damage.
A very powerful tool indeed. And with that, fcoughlin is going to be the first one up the mountain. Now, I haven't seen any numbers in chat yet, but we will get started with that.
We haven't started it yet. There we go, we've started it.
There we go,
We
so
have
now...
22 item locations in Ganon's Tower that we may see our racers visiting before getting the big key and ascending the rest of Ganon's Tower. On Speed Gaming, if you've subscribed, donated, or sorry, tipped, what is it?
250 bits, or have given a subscription to any of the Speed Gaming channels, 1 through 6, I believe. And then you are eligible.
You are then eligible to not only join us for this game, but also to be checked off if you happen to win on the guessing game leaderboard. So feel free to guess a number between 1 and 22 to figure out where you would like to see that key. Me personally, I want to see it at Bob's chest. I'm going with number 14.
Fair enough. What I usually do, as is customary with the randomizer, I generate a random one. And today, the generator spat out 3, which in normal routing would be the torch, which is always a landmark location.
That would be fantastic.
Wow, and with that, following closely behind with a difference of, what, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes max.
And since Ice Palace
never mind, it's Ice Palace. Never mind.
Yep. Ice Palace is going to be a breeze, though, considering that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe at most like a 5 to 6 minute difference between these 2 runners. This could definitely come down to execution in the gauntlet, and maybe bad luck on the big key location for fcoughlin. But we'll just have to see.
And for the record, we stop this when we see fcoughlin enter Ganon's tower. So we hope you got your guesses in, because if you didn't, well, that's on you if you could have guessed that one. Fred did skip Hookshot Cave because he already had all the items he feels are required. And with that, boom.
It's definitely stopped now.
It is definitely confirmed. Double Ming Lee stopped.
Ming Lee, what's that one? Saber Ping. Saber Ping. What?
I know what you mean.
1, 2.
So far, not a whole
Not the
lot in the first
answer.
two chests. fcoughlin deciding to go right side first.
Oh, he did get that key, which does allow the circumvention of the tile room. So definitely a common choice that that runners would make.
Knowing our luck, watch it be in title.
Tidal room. Watch the tile screen for the big key in Ganon's tower. Ooh, dear. Oh, CeroX
And
onto the
3, 4,
bomb jump.
5, and 6.
Ooh.
And with one more key in hand, back to the mirror, and to the left side we go.
Torch coming up. And it's only a big 20. Oh.
He goes for
Coughlin
it,
picking
with
it
Bob.
up.
Bob is now no longer going to be up there, so it's going to be the late Bob's chest. Let's see, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes.
And now we're going through 8, 9, 10, and 11.
That is correct. Meanwhile, CeroX is going to go through the Ice Palace, kill Cults there,
Ooh. 8,
and be
9,
close
multiple
behind
busts.
fcoughlin.
10 gives us a
Also-
bottle. 11 gives us a bomb
Oh,
upgrade.
still not. We are
Still
killing these
miss.
Selfos.
And still no sword upgrade.
Oh yeah, that is true.
The one thing CeroX gets lucky with. Or rather, gets a lucky advantage with. Phrasing, I know. I'm the king of it today. Ooh, number 12 is just a big 20.
Yeah, fcoughlin did turn in the mushroom
And
after
Boomerang
going
swag
for...
strats,
Oh no!
unfortunately, didn't pull off. It's a shame he doesn't have a red boomerang. Just saying, just putting that one out there, fam. Oh,
Not
he
sure
doesn't
how I feel
anyways,
about
never
that one.
mind. Suddenly, the foot is shoved right back into my mouth.
You might want to take it out because I sure can't do this alone.
Fair. And with that, CeroX makes equally quick work of Cold Stare and is about to ascend to Ganon's tower himself.
Oh,
And that
my.
is a 5-minute,
5.5.
34-second difference. Shoutouts to Mumid2 for... Nope, that's Thelfin. For giving us that clear distinction of time difference. Much appreciated.
Twitch username randomizer confirmed.
Oh,
Oh. fcoughlin.
13, 14. Is
There
that
it is!
15? Was that 15?
4, 6, 8, 10, 11,
12, 13, 14.
14. Is that correct? I hope it is.
Wait, hold on. Doing the math, I want to get this right.
2 plus 4 is 6, 7 torch, 10, 11, 16 apparently. 11,
Everyone's
12,
saying
13.
16.
We are great at maths.
Man, my
22.
13 was
Yeah.
13
Wait,
was Fire
16,
Snake. That's right. I
yes.
didn't count Fire Snake. That's why I got that mistaken. Wow.
Wow.
And you know, there's people out there that say ADHD doesn't exist. I am definitely a case to prove otherwise today.
Yeah, I My attention span is pretty much just milliseconds.
Hashtag quick math.
2 + 2 is 16. Let's save
Shoutouts
that
to
result.
both Math Guy and Math Girl in the same stream where both commentators can't math.
Coincidence? I think not. Shoutouts to Illuminati bot. Cue X-Files music.
Right?
CeroX going right side first, checking the first 2 chests. See if he goes with the right side bed as well. I'll have to find that smoky. fcoughlin is...
Nope, he's going for it. As we know, it would be a bigger advantage to go left, but unfortunately, that does seem to be the current meta of checking right side if you find a key.
No, fcoughlin. Ooh. Getting blocked by the little energy ball.
The double block. Oh, and the door gets shut.
Oh no! Sarah.
Little does he know he should just. Oh.
At this point,
messages to make a race closer. But nonetheless, fcoughlin going and taking care of Lanmo 2.
Guess the long shot
with a very quick silver arrow shot to each of them. Stocking back up on hearts. Especially at this point, you do not want to end up falling to either Aghanim or anything in Ganon's tower. Considering they just have blue mail, that does mean they do have some things to worry about damage-wise. Oh, and barely misses the 1 cycle for that room.
Yeah, though not a huge deal. It is a little bit of swag that has been lost, unfortunately. Rest in peace. Although we still have the bug net, and we still have an Aghanim fight, so swag is still there to be had. Wow, this is still extremely close. Both runners in the Ganon's tower. fcoughlin, of course, has a substantial lead, almost at the second multiplier. Still looking for maybe that extra sword. Oof, is not finding any.
The only saving grace fcoughlin will have for that time difference is if he finds a sword in the last chest, the chest after Troll Dorm 2, or as I like to call it, Jerry. Let's see if Jerry provides us a sword for fcoughlin today. Because that would make a significant difference in the Ganon fight.
Yeah, that would be an amazing location for
and Jerry
for a speedy item.
To us what? Oh, the bomb!
Oh, the bomb puts down 2 of them.
And Jerry gets the double bomb.
Oh my. CeroX dropping bombs as well through the Ganon's tower. Gotta be careful. You might compromise the structural integrity.
And that's so far a 2 and a 1 on Aghanim 2. CeroX finding the big key and a 3.
Ooh, nice triple.
Ooh, baby, a triple.
A big whammy for the Aghanim. As the bat is flying out of sight, will be crashing into the pyramid. And fcoughlin, on 3 hearts, mind you, will be into the Ganon fight.
Yep, this is realistically, as much as I want to say it could be anyone's race, this really is Fred's to lose at this moment. The only way that I can see this happening is if Fred unfortunately takes some sort of damage, like a Ganon hug or a fire bat, or falls at a crucial time, because right now it's just going to be a bunch of fire slashes in some very fortunate RNG locations for Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah, definitely very, very favorable.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Of all the... Oh, he did have a fairy. That's right.
Oh yeah, we
CeroX
still
used the
had
fairy.
that all the way back from the old man, the great grandfather of Link, as we mentioned. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back and watch the VOD. Then you'll understand. Ouch! Oh, those. Ooh! In the nick of time, engages his cape. Wow.
And now on to phase 2, as we were seeing. Going using some cape strats. Not too worried considering that green potion was just right there in his inventory. Meanwhile, CeroX making quick work out of... Oof. Ooh, it's close. There we go. Manages to get out of that room in time. Finishes the gauntlet, heads right over to Lambo 2. fcoughlin most likely feeling a little bit of nerves right now, knowing that he has Master Sword Ganon and only 4 hearts remaining.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to play it safe, not take any damage from the pig himself.
The only thing I wonder is, I can't remember what else was in those bottles. I don't know if he has any remaining safeties left.
I don't think so. I believe 2 of them were empty. One had a fairy, one had Mountain Dew in it. And yes, we did find the silver arrows.
Very... Oh, he does have one. Okay, it is...
Okay. Oh yeah, that is correct. He did go and buy some potions before Ice Palace, I believe.
I must have been looking at CeroX's screen. Something must have happened. In the meantime, we're on the final phase of Ganon, and just like that, Ganon goes down. Make sure to give your GGs in chat, because right now it is confirmed that fcoughlin has officially taken down Ganon at approximately 1 hour, 37 minutes, 49 seconds. Woo!
Success!
You can say that again.
137.50 with a required 2 pendant dungeon dips. In retrospect, this seed's been probably one of the more linear seeds that I've ever seen. And CeroX now into the Jerry fight. Two quick hits.
I should probably hit up the race channel and make sure they're interested in doing any interviews, huh? That would be a good idea.
Oh yeah, so definitely be interesting to do
right now. But yeah, this seed started off incredibly late, only to find out afterwards, oof.
Yeah, the fact that that Mossila was required in the end. That was the go mode for both of our runners. Meanwhile, speaking of our other runner, CeroX, in the second Aghanim fight, gets a nice triple as well. We'll be into the Ganon fight shortly. and it does look like Fred will be joining us for an interview shortly. Meanwhile, though, CeroX, starting the fight with the big pig, does have the advantage of the temper sword being able to just do slashes instead of spins. Makes excellent use of escape. Half magic as well.
And live with us now, we have Fred Coughlin. Fred, GG and congrats.
Congratulations on that victory.
That was what seemed linear at first, but that sure turned out to be a seed, huh?
Yeah, there was a bunch of options early. You know, the fact that you could go up to Death Mountain, you could go to Dark World early, all depended on which path you took, and then of course it just decided to say, oh yeah, mitts. Good luck finding those.
Yeah, that was rough. It's interesting because at the first moment we saw everything change, CeroX ended up going to Dark World and taking care of Pod, while you went over to what seemed almost clearly linear for Eastern Palace, and then Tower of Hera and Dark Mountain, or Death Mountain. Sorry, wow. You'll find, if you look at the VOD, you'll find I have been all over the place with my words today. So I apologize.
No worries.
But
I know the feeling.
Had a great race.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm glad it worked out. I mean, I got lucky. When I had the bow and lamp, I knew Pod was completely logically in play. And once it was a crystal, I said, you know what? Let me at least hit that early. Hope that we get something. Even if we don't, we're getting a crystal out of there, and it's gonna be something I'm probably gonna have to explore. I mean, there's so few ways into the Dark World. You tend to have to at least head over to Sahasrahla, if not into the I can't talk today either. See, you're not the only one affected with this.
Hey, awesome.
But yeah, so I mean, there's so many places you almost always have to check at least Sahasrahla, if not Eastern. Eastern was fully in logic, so I checked there, got lucky, got the hook shot, and then with everything else, the whatever it was, the next step that took me up there, the gloves, I said, okay, let's just head up to Death Mountain. And then, of course, cursed seeing the lovely tree holding a powder. Of all things, that was one of the painful ones.
That was intense.
Interesting.
Especially with how late those gloves showed up, kept going in the back of my mind. Do I make that play up to Aghanim? Do I keep going Swamp? Couldn't decide which one was the best, but aside from my idiot moment there, deciding to flood the key, got lucky and was able to get through there.
Yeah, that was definitely a rough one. And pardon the interruption, but CeroX did finish his race in the meantime with a time of 1:41.45. So about roughly 4 minutes between the two of you. And joining us right now, CeroX. GG's, that was a great race.
Congrats on finishing that race, because let's be real, that was rather ridiculous.
GG, first of all, Fred. Well played.
Good game to you too. Wow.
I'm actually glad that I finished like 4 minutes behind you. That's a pretty good time for me against you, I think.
No, this is your solid time. You keep putting yourself down, like in the chat before the race. You are a very solid person. I watched some of your races before this to try to, scout the competition, I guess, if you want to call it that. But you were making solid plays all over the place whenever I saw those. So, don't put yourself down. You are a really good place. You got a great shot at making the bracket as well.
Yeah, realistically, 4-1 is nothing to sneeze at as someone that only got into randomizers, and never mind Link to the Past randomizer 10 months ago. That's considerably pretty good.
So yeah, what was the main difference? I think my fails in Palace of Darkness, probably. Yeah.
That definitely was the start of it. The routing choices that you made were different in the sense that fcoughlin saw linearity going to Pod, and then Death Mountain went there. You said, okay, well, what if this is going to not be as linear as it looks? Which it turned out to be that way when it came to Titan's Mitts. But at first glance, Pod was definitely her first choice you made, and then that happened. Fortunately, you didn't also end up taking too much time out of any other dungeons, but that definitely didn't help. That probably would have been the time made up reasonably. It seems like even though you also had one more sword upgrade because fcoughlin finished with Master Sword Ganon.
Oh, so you didn't check the chest in Desert behind after the big key?
Nope.
I should have, now that you're saying that, but no, I figured I thought it was going to be incredibly close, which was 4 minutes, and I just said nope. I'm just gonna hit the mirror from there. I knew I can kill Ganon at that point. Got a little ugly, but I wasn't sure what it was going to do. I should have checked that, but no.
Yeah, I felt behind, and I thought maybe I have a chance if I find a sword upgrade anywhere. And so I checked Maya's shed and then this chest, and I planned to do Hookshot Cave as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I definitely did the Meyer shed. I did not do Hookshot Cave. I just, I hit the 2 in Super Bunny on the way up, and I just, again, looking at what you saw, I figured I was going to have to put some really good times in, and, was looking at the clock saying, oh yeah, I'm in trouble here. So I just dashed as fast as I could through, hoping I'd find something against Tower, and no.
Yeah, but overall, I'm quite happy with my performance. Despite this whole Palace of Darkness disaster, yeah, I don't know what happened there. I was happy that we could go into pod early, and I could show this key logic thing, because in the last couple of weeks I really looked into key logic for Palace of Darkness and Misery Mire, and it paid off, because in Mire I could skip the vanilla big key chest, and in pod I could skip like vanilla big key chest and Harmless Hellway. But I totally forgot the first time that I need the big key for Helmer's King. And
yeah. Yep, that did it. That did not help. And then having no mirror after that, that was rough. Literally a minute after your discovery of not having a mirror, that's when Fred ended up going into the basement of the Tower of Hera and getting the mirror, and it just it hurt a little inside knowing that was going to be a difference in time between when you found it and when that happened.
So I believe if I don't forget about the big key, and if I don't die on Helmsor the next time I went there, this might have been the 4-minute difference, but yeah. Overall, I'm pretty happy. Everything else was kind of fine. So I'm looking forward to my next match next week. Hopefully I get a opponent on my skill level, because I definitely improved in the last couple of weeks, but there's still a difference.
Yeah, understandably. It's not like, fortunately, West Coast versus the furthest of European Standard Time. I can't even words anymore. I'm already bad at English. Never mind being able to put sentences together. I apologize.
You fail English? That's impossible.
Exactly.
By the way, an European opponent would be nice next week, so I have maybe a shot at a reasonable time. Oh, by the way, this week was really nice, so thank you, Fred, for making this possible.
Oh, no problem.
But I had to play 2 matches early in the morning, like 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. before, and that really didn't help.
Wow, and still ended up getting a 4-1? Yeah, no, that's definitely impressive then.
I told you, he's good.
And lucky.
Hey, luck is always something that has to do
with
randomizer.
We're playing a randomizer. By definition, there's luck involved.
That's true.
But nonetheless, that was a fun race. For the most part, despite all of those problems, we did see a lot of times where all of your routes would diverge and then come back and converge again, and just kind of practically make a helix out of it, until it finally got to the point where Fred ended up jumping in to get the Titans mitts early, and then at that point it was, oh, I can practically go mode Misery Mire and Ice Palace. Vroom.
I'm still a bit unsure about one decision I made, because after Swamp I decided to do Shovel, because I decided before going into Swamp that I will do this afterwards with Shovel and Pyramid Fairy and Catfish, and if I would have skipped all of that and directly went to Kakariko, activate the Flute and do Skull Woods, I could have saved some time as well, but I'm not sure if this was a wrong or a correct decision. I have no idea.
I mean,
Yeah, I flooded the key, so I ended up leaving and saying, okay, well, since I have to mirror out anyway, I have to leave the screen. Let me go cash in shovel and grab flute, and then I'll flute back to swamp. The portal will still be there. I won't have, and there, that'll at least let me go back in and get the key in the end. But I was hoping the same thing. I was like, okay, maybe shovel will just be that progression, and that's it. And oh yeah, heart container. No.
And that realistically, honestly, in hindsight is always 20/20. It's always going to be much clearer. But in that race, especially when you have everything else compounded on that, such as the anxiety of feeling behind, you tend to make sure to cover everything before going and taking a gamble and going into a straight direction. But nonetheless, what is that? Almost a full clear, practically, and both of you under 145.
Yeah, we full cleared everything except for probably Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
But mids are a really good go mode item because you can skip so many things.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah, that was actually, in hindsight, at first I was thinking, wow, what a weird item to get. But putting it that way, yeah, being able to clear so many things that would otherwise be frustrating, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I remember seeing a race one time. Was it one of Christos's races in the last tournament? I don't remember which one it was, but basically, one of the runners skipped the, didn't have hammer when they did Thieves Town. Big Chest had Titan's Mitts, vanilla Titan's Mitts, and then the other runner skipped something different, and it therefore unlocked, it was basically a case of which of the two blocked fewer things, essentially, to win it, and the Titan's Mitts just turned out to block pretty much everything. And Christos made the, I got to go back into the basement of Thieves Town, and boom. As I said, just whoever he was playing against, they just had so many other options available. I think they may have been short mirror or something, and it was a lot harder for them to find the item they needed.
Oh, wow. Just don't mind me. I'm still going and just kind of taking in the entirety of that race. That was nuts. But I think at this point, we've pretty much covered the majority of the seed. Do either of you have any specific final thoughts?
I just want to tell, great match again. Best of luck next round. You away with you play. I easily can see you getting the 5-2 there. So best of luck next round.
Thanks, Fred. Good luck for the bracket as well. And thank you all for commentating and restreaming and tracking and watching. Especially, this is a really great community, a great game. So thanks for putting it all together like this.
Yes, thanks a lot.
By all means, thank you both for the race, and best of luck in your future races. I'll definitely be watching as best as I can.
Yeah, definitely be keeping a lookout for both of these runners, fcoughlin and CeroX. Sure to give them a follow on Twitch. As well as shoutouts to our tracker, Marco K _ for keeping the tracker in line, because sure thing we weren't in line. And on that note, shoutouts to my co-commentator Glenn Ty for joining me on this one. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. And yes, absolutely. I'm going to also follow suit in saying everyone that you've seen involved in this community has been nothing but fantastic, and we definitely encourage you to not only check this out, check out future races, check out our races on Speed Gaming 2 through 6, as well as ALTTP Randomizer, and then ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 4. We also would like to encourage you to get involved, because let's be real, it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of people that are definitely going to be there to make it a pretty awesome community with a lot of potential for just even more fun. And let's face it, who doesn't like fun?
Very true, especially randomized fun. Which just put so much longevity on a simple game such as A Link to the Past. But with that, we are going to wrap it up here. Into the randomizer, we are going to have a small lull in races. The next one will be at 8 PM Eastern Daylight Time on Speed Gaming 2 and Speed Gaming 3. That will be bite-sized versus Koblala, and Quizball versus Ultimate Dave Live. So definitely be sure.
I like
be sure
that name.
to get those
Ultimate
races
Dave Live.
live from the Quiz Bowl. Okay.
Oh snap!
And then the races will continue on 9 p.m. Be sure to check out the schedule and give a follow to all of the Randomizer channels. But with that is going to do it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Mine has been Stan, and I'll see you in the next seed.
Yep. Thank you all very much. It's been fun, and see you around.